Mr. Television. How are you doing?
That's my nickname.
Man?
How
Yeah.
did you know my secret nickname?
That is, it's a word on the street.
Milton Berle, I think, had that originally.
He was Mr. Television, Milton Berle.
Yeah, I think they called him that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Well,
I've been reading the trades, and I saw your face, and it just said Mr. Right.
I don't think I've been in the trades in about 80 years, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I don't need the trades. Well, thanks for having me on again. You're gearing up the new podcast. It's a new era.
Yeah, it's a new era for Ian Ira Rousso.
Yeah.
How
you still go by the Rooster, or is that?
I've retired the Rooster.
The Rooster. All right.
Yeah.
How about you had a few other Uncle
Rooster.
Rooster.
I went by Boots McGee for a second because I went.
Short.
Yeah, that was a very short-lived era.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me some cowboy boots, and I still have them. I wear them from time to time.
Right.
Yeah, I can't recommend cowboy boots enough.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go the other way. You can't recommend them at all.
Yeah.
No, you love them.
Yeah, no, they're practical. Like, you don't have to.
In Los Angeles when it's 100 degrees out.
I put gels in them. So they're comfortable.
Got it.
You don't have to worry about, my shoe's untied. Yeah, because there's no shoelaces. And I also find that cowboy boots are very, God, what's the word? Like, you could wear them for any occasion. You could,
you could.
Yeah. They look good in a suit. They look good casually.
If they're the right ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, should we talk? One of the things I was thinking of, because many people don't know, how would I know you? How would I? That's a mystery in some ways. Like, why would I be on this podcast?
Yeah.
Crazy enough. I met you through our mutual friend
Liam McEnany,
who will not come on this show, and I'll tell you why. It's not because he doesn't like you anymore or anything like that. He would want to talk about things you don't want to talk about.
Okay.
So that's why,
like, real shit.
Him. Yeah. Well, you know the stuff.
Yeah.
And he would have a hard time not doing that.
Okay.
So that's why he's not coming on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Until that dam breaks loose, he would do that by accident, and then you'd have to shut it down and it'd be done.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, so I met you through Liam.
Yeah.
And I saw you do a couple of at his birthday, and I saw you do a couple of open mics, and then I came to your one-man album show.
Yeah, my hour.
Yeah, your 1 hour special.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and we've been communicating on and off a little bit, talking about comedy and stuff like that ever since.
Yeah, you've
once in a while.
Yeah, we've been on the phone.
I've been your mentor, right? Mentoring.
Yeah,
but it hasn't really taken though.
I never really
sadly.
I've never thought of you as a mentor figure, but I'll give it to you.
I would make a bad mentor.
I don't know. Like, I feel like all these times we've been on the phone, I feel like I've asked questions.
Yes.
To you that I felt like would be good on a podcast, but like on a personal, but just like more on a personal level.
There you go. Well, why don't you ask one now? We can get it going.
Okay.
Well,
do
you have any questions for me?
So if you don't know Joel Madison, he was you are a veteran TV writer.
Right.
Yes.
And stand-up.
And stand-up. Yeah. It's, you got your start with Louis Anderson back in Minneapolis.
Yeah, pretty much. That was sort of my second start. I actually started in San Diego.
San Diego, that's right. You were a door guy at the La Jolla Comedy Store.
Yeah, exactly. Started doing their amateur night back in, so we're talking about a long time ago. We're talking about 78, 79-ish.
God.
As a young man. And doing their open mic, or they called it amateur night. They just called it what it was, amateur night.
Yeah, the word potluck didn't exist yet.
No, they would just call it, and it was San Diego. So there was maybe about a rotating group of about 10 people that were doing stand-up. It wasn't a large group.
What a different time.
Yeah, and it was Sunday nights, and for a long time it was Sunday after the regular show. And it was very hot back then, so that place was packed. I think it holds like 300 people. I don't know. But it was packed. They saw the regular show, and I would say 90% of the people stayed. They'd take a little intermission, and they say, hey, if you want to stick around for amateur night coming up, stick around. And most of the crowd stayed. They were hot, and they were, but you had to. If you were not good, they would kill you.
Yes, as they should.
You were at all kind of competent, they would give it up for you. You know what I mean? They were a very good crowd that way. But they had just seen 3 professional comedians, so they were discerning. But they'd give you a break. So they were a very good crowd. So I did that for maybe about a year, and then I moved to Minneapolis because there was no other stage time in San Diego other than 5 minutes on Sundays when they did it. For a while, they ended it, and then they started it up again, blah, blah, blah. So I moved there because it was way more consistent, and Minneapolis they had just started a whole stand-up club there. It was tiny. I think it sat about 35 people. It was called Mickey Finn's, but they were doing like 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and they were paid. I had $20 or whatever. But so when I got to Minneapolis, right away I was doing like 4 to 5 shows a week, paid, in front of a paying crowd. And so I never went through a heavy open mic amateur night. Again, the comedy amateur night at the Comedy Store, they had a paying crowd, even though you were the amateurs that night. So I never went through what you guys do today, years of working in front of 8 comedians.
Yeah, it's insane. I imagine
did not exist.
Yeah, because right now, at any given moment, there's probably 1,500 people in Los Angeles pursuing comedy in some capacity. Although I heard that the bubble for the amount of people doing comedy has like popped a bit because
finally people have stopped a little bit.
Yeah, a combination of gas prices, the economy. Yeah. You're looking at even the average comic, they do this for 5 years maybe.
That's right. And then like it doesn't work out, and so they quit.
It doesn't. Yeah, they realize things don't happen as easily as they'd like to.
Well, even back when I was doing it, people would fall out. They'd do it for like a couple of years. They didn't get famous enough fast enough.
Yeah.
They couldn't put it together fast enough. But like, so from that Mickey Finn's point, I would say it was 2 years, and I was out on the road making a living.
Yeah.
Back then. But you could do that back then if you had an act. Now, granted, there were a lot of people that came through that could not figure out how to put it together and just kind of went by the wayside or stayed an opener or a middle. And then I came back out here to Los Angeles. I was on the road 3 weeks out of the month to pay for living here, but I was still working comic. And I started feeling like I didn't really want to do stand-up anymore. Like, what else could I do?
Yeah.
And I started writing specs and trying to figure out. A couple of guys were breaking into TV writing, and I was able to do that in, I think 91 is when I joined the WGA and stopped doing stand-up.
Okay. Was your first your entryway was your first staff writing credit? Correct me if I'm wrong, Roseanne.
That is true. Now I did.
My mom geeked out about that a little
really?
bit. Yeah,
that was a big show. And you don't have really anything to compare it to when it's your first job. You know what I mean? Like you don't realize, wow, this is like in the top 10. A lot of times, #1 show.
Yeah.
And again, I had nothing to compare it to, so it was like I didn't really grasp the gravitas. There's so many. Again, I kind of. It wasn't a lifelong goal at that. It was a 2-year or 1 year goal to like, hey, I should write for TV, versus like a lifetime, go to college, try to write for TV. So I sort of kind of backed into it.
And did you start as like an office PA and work your way?
No. I was a staff writer.
Right in.
Yeah. So my first job was staff writer.
Never had to deliver anybody coffee or sides.
No. I did have to. So I was late 20s. But believe me, I paid other dues and other jobs.
Yes,
in my life, just not that one.
Yeah. So, did you have any writing
welded,
work
for a while, or drove on a garbage truck?
Yeah.
A few summers.
You were a garbage man.
I was a garbage man. Garbage man's assistant.
Garbage man's assistant.
Right.
So even lower on
even
the ladder.
Lower.
Yeah.
Yes. So I consider that worse than being a PA. So I figure I put in my time.
Yeah.
That way. No, I got a job on Roseanne, staff writer. They usually do like a 10-week thing when you first get on, and then that turns into like half a year, and then that turns into the full year. So it's always in increments. But I had been, Tom Arnold was a buddy of mine from Minneapolis.
Okay.
So I had been, I've known him personally, wrote jokes for him, And then when he hooked up with Roseanne, we were writing jokes for Roseanne. And there was about a
That'll
year
do
or
it.
two where he was trying to take over the Roseanne show. And then he finally was able to take over after 2 years. And they had a couple positions that they were pretty easy to get. But I had also done a rewrite of a feature. I had written a couple of specs, and I had helped Tom and Roseanne on their HBO specials. So I'd been kind of dabbling, trying to get in best I could. But, there again, so they the third season of Roseanne, they took over totally, fired everybody. And so I was like, give me a job. Me and a couple other guys at that point were able to get a job. But, you have to deliver past that.
So that's like the advice that you would give to an aspiring screenwriter, TV writer, take whatever work you could get.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And, find. So this kind of circles back to, in Minneapolis, we had a very, very tight group of people. And, one of the things, we were always working with and for each other. So, like, for example, I'd watch my friend Jeff, and I go, oh, Jeff, I got this line that would be perfect for your joke or for your thing about that. Have you thought about that? And rather than be mad that I was tagging his joke, he'd go, oh, thank you. I'm going to give that a try. And he'd give me one. So it was a very big community of writing and inspiring each other to write and do better. And that doesn't happen out here.
No.
It didn't happen 30 years ago out here. Once you get out to Los Angeles, it's very cutthroat.
Vicious city.
It's vicious. And if you do tell somebody, again, I haven't been in the stand-up world since like the early 90s, but if you do give somebody a joke, they kind of assume you're trying to fuck them over somehow. They get very mad, or they think that they're not, if they take a joke, they're not being authentic.
People will give me a tag from time to time, and I take it with a grain of salt, but someone, you obviously saw my hour. Sorry again. It's right behind you. Yeah, it's my dumb face. But the best tag that I had in that hour was, I'm trying to remember.
Did I give it to you?
No, you did not.
I knew better.
Yeah.
No, I don't give nobody nothing anymore. I watch people and I think, oh, God, this would be a better way to do it. But go ahead. I interrupted you.
But no, but the tag was the bit about like apartments in New York being small, like how I lived in a bedroom with three bedrooms, 9 people.
Okay.
Jerry had room to hang a whole bicycle on his wall because, like, I was talking about sitcom apartments, how
they are
massive
lying.
they are. Yeah, they make New York seem cutesy and comfortable. Right. And the tag that I got from one of my best friends in the world, Abby Shackner, I didn't have room to hang a bicycle. I didn't even have room to hang myself.
Got it. That's a great joke.
Yeah, it's a rock solid.
Talks about everything. And you took it and said thank you.
Yes.
There you go.
Like she gave me that tag.
This is advice. I don't know who watches this for the 5 people.
Yeah, no, it's
25. 25, okay.
Yeah, it's not 2,000, but
find people that you trust and like, and work with them. It makes your skills better. It brings up everything. When I came out here, luckily, I had a pretty good group of friends that had moved out in similar times. So I still had a really nice, supportive group of comedy actors and comics that I could still lean into and support. And again, all the way through, I was writing and working with Tom and writing and working with Roseanne. And it just, it helps. It helps. It absolutely helps.
Did any of your friends get the job with you on Roseanne?
Well, there was a guy named Don Foster, who was a guy in Minneapolis who never was a comic, but did improv and was like really, really smart and funny and was a writer. He was working on a novel. And he knew Tom not quite in the same way that I did. He was sort of a roommate at Tom's. Anyways, it's a weird, long story. Him and another fellow named Sid Youngers, the three of us all kind of worked in that same year. And I think Don and Sid stayed. I did 2 more years, 1 more year on Roseanne, and then a year with Jackie Thomas. And then I said goodbye to the whole group because it was getting a little crazy. And I wanted to not be the gimme job. It was time to see what I could do without having the protection of Roseanne and Tom.
Yeah.
So,
and eventually you became a staff writer on the final season of Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
I actually was a supervising producer. So
leading up to it.
So staff writer on Roseanne, all the way up to executive story editor, because like in the Army, if you do well, they promote you.
Yes.
And you have different titles. So I left there and I went to another show as a producer, and some other shit happened, and I was on Fresh Prince as a supervising producer. Which is, I might have ended as, no, I don't think I did co-exec, but under supervise, the next step above supervising is co-exec. So.
Yeah, I could have sworn, because I remember the last time you and Liam were on the podcast leading up to it, I watched the 2 episodes of Fresh Prince that you have a writing credit on.
Burning Down the House, maybe?
Yeah, Burning Down the House. Yeah.
That was the season opener, I think.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And that was the one... So one of my all-time favorite Jeffrey lines in the entire series.
Yeah.
Of all the rooms you could have burnt down in Uncle Phil's house, the kitchen.
Yeah, that was a
fat
joke.
Are you mad, boy? Yes, it was.
That was a fat joke.
Yeah, it's a damn good joke.
Will loves loved doing those, sneaking those in. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, it was funny. They wanted to, and I don't know why, but they wanted to remodel the kitchen.
And that was why.
And so we go, well, let's burn it down. So Will was making a souffle. Specifically. Yeah, souffle.
But I could have sworn you were listed as a co-producer on that. And
it's possible. We could look it up on IMDb, but I'm not sure. I know I was at least supervising. I could have been a co-producer. I don't know.
That's a good problem to have. Was I a co-producer?
I don't know. You lose track after a while.
I remember once I asked you, did you write the episode of Fresh Prince where Will gets shot? And your response was, I don't know. I could have.
I could have. It's possible.
Yeah.
But no, if it was not the last season, I didn't write it.
But what are, this is a good question that I don't think I've ever asked you. What are the levels of producing and the roles that they have? Like supervising producer, executive producer, which I think the blanket term is showrunner?
Well, so usually the showrunner is executive producer, but not all executive producers are showrunners.
Okay.
Right? So you start out as a term writer, actually. Usually they give you a 10-week term, and then you may or may not get the credit staff writer, but it's staff writer, story editor, executive story editor, co-producer, producer, supervising producer, co-executive producer, executive producer. And those are all writing titles, but there are also, so like somebody's management could get a producer title.
I've heard,
sometimes executive producer title, depending on how powerful they are.
Is his name David Becky, the guy who he was...
from 3 Arts?
Yep, so Louis' manager, because he was listed as an executive producer.
And part of that is to give them some control, so that they have their clients back, and also money.
Yeah.
But yes, lots of times there are titles that are given out for that type of reason.
Someone like Rob Reiner, how much creative input did he have in Seinfeld?
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah.
And every room and every situation is set up a little different. Fresh Prince, we had a lot of producers because all his management got titles, but they didn't really have a lot to do. I mean, they kind of came in and gave notes once in a while, and Quincy Jones people came in and gave notes once in a while. It was a lot of notes, but you don't have to take all of them. But they usually, and then some of them aren't creative and don't show up and don't care. But as a writer, as you move up the ranks, you get a bigger title and more money.
Yes,
so that's how that works.
Show business.
But more to the point of your question, everybody has the same job basically, especially when you're in a room and everybody's sitting around. Supposedly, the higher titles would be smarter, maybe, but not necessarily than the newer people. But you pitch, like the showrunner would say, okay, we're going to work on episode 1. We're going to break it out. We're going to figure out what that story is, whatever it is. And everybody pitches, not all at the same time, but you have some sort of idea of what the goal is of the story. And then you pitch it out. You might come up with jokes for the outline or for the breaking of it. Usually is on a big whiteboard, and there's beats, so scene 1, this happens, scene 2. And again, depending on how organized the showrunner is, the more elaborate that whiteboard is, or whatever they do electronic now.
I could only imagine.
Or cards. They use cards.
I've never stepped foot in a writer's room, but I could only imagine they are so organized with their thoughts, like storyboarding. Not at all.
Not at all. Zero organization.
And that's why TV is a dying horse.
Yeah, it's a dying horror is what it is.
Really.
Some rooms are more organized. It depends on how organized the showrunner is and how much he has an idea of where we're going. Sometimes at the beginning of a season, you just want to plot out, we want these characters to be married by mid-season. We want somebody to die by episode 15 or 16. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you try to lay out the bigger stories and then fill in the blanks. And sometimes you'd bring in a story like, hey, I want to do something about X. On Roseanne, I was paired up with Don Foster, the writer, and I don't know if we were responsible per se to come up with a story, but we did. We said, hey, this is this is a fun story we want to do. We came in, we pitched it, I think of whatever, I can't remember exactly how it went, but we pitched it, they liked the idea, we broke it out in the room of how it would work, and then usually if you're on script, you'd have a week, sometimes 3 days, to go off and bring in a final or a first draft. So in the room, you're either kind of breaking stories.
Yep.
You're out working on a story. You're out actually writing a story, which is kind of like out of a season, you might do 3 episodes. So you might be out of the room for a week each time you're doing it. Otherwise, you're in the room, you're breaking stories, you're working on an outline. So before you write the script, you usually go off, take a day, hand in an outline. So then in the morning, you might come in and you might read the outline that somebody wrote, and you make notes on the outline, and they either do a revised outline or they go off to write from that outline. But each step, the showrunner has to pitch it to the network. So, and usually they send in the abridged outline to the network. They give notes, then you go off and write. But so during the day, you might work on an outline, you might break a story for somebody else. Somebody's first draft comes in, so you go off and read it, and you start doing a rewrite on that. If it's a production week, that's a whole other thing where you're actually going down to stage, you're watching what goes on, and then doing a rewrite in the afternoon. Like you might table read in the morning, tons of notes all day that the showrunner deals with, then maybe 4 o'clock you start a rewrite for the next day. The next day, the run-through might be at 2 o'clock. So in the morning, you're working on other stuff till you see the run-through, and then from that moment, you're doing punch-up. And then you shoot the show. It's usually 5 days, so if you start on Monday, you shoot Friday. But during the times you're not doing the rewrite for the show in production, you're doing other things. You're breaking stories, you're writing jokes, you're whatever. And
did you find yourself developing relationships with the people on the acting side?
So they kind of frown on that.
Okay.
The upper people kind of frown on when the show. I was like on Roseanne. I was a staff writer. The lowest you're private. And although I did have a relationship with Roseanne, you don't want to lean too much into that because it makes people nervous. And many people on staff, you get on a show and you go, well, that person. They try very hard to make friends and to cuddle up with the stars in case there's a problem.
Okay.
You don't get fired. But no, you do not. There's a definite dividing line between office and stage.
Okay.
You do not cross. Usually, sometimes the executive producer, showrunner, there's an unwritten law. Nobody talks to the staff. Nobody talks to the director. Certainly you don't want to talk to the director about anything creative.
Yeah.
Or the actors. It's very much breaking protocol.
Okay, because I've been listening to I don't know if you have this school of thought. I've been listening to a podcast called How We Made Your Mother. It's a rewatch podcast with Josh Radnor and Craig Thomas, co-creator of the show.
And they kind of talk about how that worked?
Yeah, because they said the same thing, that the networks, like the studio heads, they do frown upon writers developing relationships with the actors. But knowing the actors, knowing their quirks and their personality traits, it makes for better writing.
100%. So on Judd Apatow shows, there was never that
and you've written for a couple.
Yeah. There was never, he had a very much more fluid writers. Some of the staff were writers, or some of the actors were writers. There wasn't a division so much. There wasn't a word. Well, he had a lot more confidence. And working on shows like the Shandling with Gary Shandling, where the head actor is also the head writer. You know what I mean? So there was more of a flow of information. But that's a rare thing. Most of the time, it's the writers are especially the head writer, would be very nervous if you cuddled up to the star of the show because you might have some weird influence, or let's say you had a show idea that he didn't like, but you told the star, hey, I'd like to do a show about this, and then the star has all the power.
Yeah.
And the star whispers to the head writer, hey, I want to do that, and now, a lot of blowback. So it's not worth developing a relationship.
Gotcha.
It could come back and haunt you on most shows, on 90%. And I believe, even though it's so different now than it was when I started, I believe, that probably still is the protocol.
This is going to sound like a silly question. Like back in 91, 92, when you got your first writing job, were you writing your spec scripts on a typewriter? Or
no, well, that's not a dumb question.
It's a silly one. Like,
really.
I don't mean to age you.
Please. I'm fucking old. It's hard to believe shit changes. But so I got my first computer with word processing. I'm trying to think. Probably 91. So 89, 88 ish. Okay. And that did the heavy lifting for me as far as like formatting, spelling.
Oh, it did do auto format, like, because Final Draft didn't exist yet. Now I feel like everyone in Hollywood has.
You got to have Final Draft, but there were other things like Final Draft, and I believe if you Google it, I believe we used Final Draft on Roseanne in '91. It was around some version of it.
Okay.
So you could do the format. But once you're on a show, then you also have writer PAs, that will fix everything for you. I had a friend, the guy Sid Youngers, he wrote longhand, and he would hand in 50 pages of longhand, and they would put it into a format.
Yeah, I heard that Jerry Seinfeld used to write episodes of Seinfeld on the back of napkins.
Well, probably ideas.
I
don't know if you'd write full scripts on. It's a lot of shit.
Hand that to the network.
Yeah, well, when you're Jerry Seinfeld, you can do that.
Get away with, but back then.
No, we had word processors, Final Draft. I'm sure I wrote Final Draft before I got the job, and if not, at least there was word processor computer. I remember doing DOS.
Yeah.
DOS, right?
I do have a very faint memory of DOS.
So we'd have to write / word, and then the word would come up, and then you could write from there. But you still had to, the spacing and all that stuff had to be right. But it did have spell check. Which was great. Yes, before that, I don't know. My hat's off to the people that actually were creative and knew how to type. And that did tons of typos that would kill you.
Here's a fun question that I've asked a couple people who've been in the industry a long time. Mm-hmm. I recently asked someone this after she told me she was in Space Jam, and I kind of geeked out about that. I don't remember her answer to this question, but here's my question to you.
Yes, sir.
You've had a long, prolific career in television. Is there any particular show or movie that makes you go, holy shit, I was a part of that? That makes you so proud?
Shoot. There's a lot of point of prides. There's a lot. Not one absolutely sticks out.
Burning Down the House,
Fresh Prince. That was sure an interesting gig. The most fun gig I had was I did a stint on America's Funniest Videos. Probably the most fun job and the easiest job because it was back. This is like
peak Bob Saget.
No, after Bob Saget.
Oh, after Bob Saget.
So this was Daisy Fuentes and John Fugelsang took over.
Okay,
right?
Okay, a little after my time.
Yeah, there you go. But it was basically a joke writing show. So you'd go in and you write jokes all day to videos. So it's super fun. That was great. Creatively, the Judd Apatow projects were always great. And there was a show called Life as We Know It, which was about these high school kids. We shot it up in Canada. That was really very rewarding in many ways. We got to do some fun stuff. And the most fun I had, as far as like a sitcom goes, had to be Jackie Thomas. Got a lot of jokes in. It was Tom Arnold's starring vehicle. And only for the fact that he plays a great, smart, dumb guy. And he was fun to write for. And I think we did a really good job of keeping the jokes solid, and a lot of them. It's on. It might seem dated. It is on. You can see it on YouTube, the Jackie Thomas Show. It was sort of, it was about a guy who comes out here as a famous stand-up and gets a show, and he's Jackie Thomas. So it was kind of parodying the Roseanne show and other, there was so many stand-ups that were getting sitcoms at that time.
Oh, yeah, that was
the thing.
I've been in LA just long enough that I remember a time when people still wanted to book that sitcom that would put them on the map, something.
Yeah. That was
eventually.
When did you come out?
2015. So it was at the very, very tail end of that.
Yeah, I would say it was almost over.
Because at that point, like I think like the shift went towards podcasting.
As a way to become famous.
Yeah, eventually it became TikTok and just blowing up on the internet. Vine, I have a very faint memory of.
Yeah.
But today, I think everybody, I think what Matt Rife did, he sold out a world tour in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and what was his thing that made him get all the? Was it a podcast? Was it?
He blew up on
TikTok?
He blew up on TikTok doing crowd work videos.
Got it. Yeah, you have to create your own fandom these days.
Yeah. But he was a working comedian for 10 years. It's not like he was just doing, he knew what he was doing. And also, apparently, he's a very, very nice guy.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but
if you're going to be a prick, you better be really funny.
Oh, tell me about it.
You better be really good. But that was the way in. There was a lot of comics with development deals. I went out and pitched with a lot of comics.
Such a different time. I heard that Joe Rogan, when he moved to LA, he already had a development deal.
Could be, yeah.
Which today, that will not happen.
No, not too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not that out there, and the companies realize that they don't have to give out, 100,000, 200,000 holding deal. But back in the day with 3 networks, they were scrambling. Like a guy or a woman, a comic would get hot. Man, let's get him on a holding deal. Let's give him 100,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what TV shows are consistently putting up comedians as guest stars, except for maybe the Scrubs revival.
Possibly,
although Joel Kim Booster, he's already huge. Matt Rife, he was in an episode.
Yeah, there you go. So it happens, and you have to have decent management selling you, and a lot of things have to come together.
Yeah, because I watched, watching the shows that I've gotten into recently, Shrinking, Rooster, which, to be fair, Rooster has a couple of comics guest starring.
And that's the Scrub guys, right?
Yeah, Bill Lawrence.
Yeah.
And the Studio, which I don't know if there is a comedian in the world who has the ability. Have you watched The Studio yet?
I saw a couple of them, yeah.
Oh, it's insane. Every scene, it's like 5 minutes dialogue, and they're all, it's a single shot.
Yeah.
A oneer, I believe, is the official industry term.
Got me. I'm not a director.
Yeah, but it's by God, I watched the pilot for the first time a couple days ago, actually. Yeah, you're a fine-looking gentleman. But Cathryn O'Hara, boy.
Super funny?
Not only funny, but boy, did she have acting chops.
Yeah. Oh,
I see Seth Lawrence, not Seth Lawrence.
Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen, yes.
That's his show.
Yeah.
Writer, director, producer, that's his show, The Studio.
Yeah. Although I'd love to see Seth Lawrence pull off a oneer. So I can eat my words.
Yeah, well, that's crazy TV, man, for you. It's certainly, I would have never thought how different it could be from when I started. But it's probably today is as different from when I started as talkies were to the silent movies. It's just a different business model, everything. I mean, there's still network shows, but man, I don't know anybody that's actually working one.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't even know how to break in today.
Yeah,
so difficult.
Yeah, like the idea of getting a writer's assistant job, from what I understand, back in the 90s and 2000s, like shows lasted 22 seasons. They would reserve
22 episodes.
22 episodes. Yeah, God,
maybe
22
2, 3, 4
seasons.
Some of them. That's Gunsmoke.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I love Fresh Prince, but not 22
not 20
seasons
years later. You wouldn't want to see that, man. That would be ugly. Everybody would die, and that'd be sad.
Yeah, a world where there's no Independence Day.
Right.
Such a great. I rewatched that movie with Abby recently.
It's a great movie.
But
works. All right. So anyway,
from what I understand, 22 episode seasons. They would reserve 1 or 2 episodes for the writer's assistant or writer's PA.
Sometimes.
So
I think there was a union thing where you had to buy in a 22 season. I don't know this for sure, but I think this is the case. You had to buy 2 outside scripts from people that were not on the staff. So a writer's PA would count as an outside script.
Yeah, and that's how they would get new blood into
and that's how
the
they would
pipeline.
Train. Yeah, exactly. And that's how they would hopefully train new people to come up through the system, I guess. But yes. So that was a very coveted job, the writer's PA.
Yeah,
and any of the PA jobs, just being around it gives you access to the exec producer and the other writers and everything else. Yes, that was the way in for sure back in the day. Unless many stand-ups made the transition like I did, though, along the way. Either they had, name a comic that had a show. He probably had 2 buddies that, again, we're talking about where I started with this conversation of be friends.
Yeah.
You don't have to fake friendship, but find somebody like-minded that you can write with, and if that person takes off,
it's like,
hopefully they'll come with you. They
this
trust
guy's
you.
easy to work with.
Yeah, they trust you. You're easy to work with. You know their strengths and weaknesses. So why wouldn't they want to bring you on to help them if they get to the next level?
I look at.
It's a business of relationships.
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Yeah,
I got that in there.
Yeah,
but it totally is.
But I've always tried to set myself to the standard of. Am I the kind of person someone would want to be on a set or in a writer's room with for 16 hours? And
you know the answer.
Yeah.
Well, it's
better days ahead.
Yeah. It is a bit crazy making being in a room with 8, 9, 10 people for 12, 13 hours a day. It is pretty crazy making.
Yeah.
It's like an office job. It's really hard to relate it if you work somewhere. It's like, would you really want to be with your coworkers who some you like, some you don't?
Yeah.
In a room
where there's potentially millions of dollars at stake.
Millions of dollars at stakes, and everybody has a sarcastic, if they're comedy, they're sarcastic, they're ready to give you shit. You better be able to take shit and give shit both.
Yep.
So
I also
hard,
you could probably vouch for this, like an episode of Fresh Prince, at least $500,000 to shoot.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah.
With all the producers that we mentioned who get every episode get $20,000. So
and you have deadlines to meet, like there's very little room to fuck up.
Although they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that show, we were always chasing our tail. A lot of shows chasing their tail. You don't have the script ready, and it has to be read on tomorrow. So you're working all night to try to get something together.
God, I remember.
Yes, there's millions of dollars on the line. I'm sure Fresh Prince had to be $1 million, $2 million an episode, maybe more at the end. I don't know what Will was making.
I remember I was background acting on a pretty big comedy on NBC. I'm not going to name the show. I don't know if that's I don't want to risk violating. I don't want Central Casting to be like, what the hell?
Why are you talking about this? They probably won't be listening.
Yeah,
what show was it?
I'll tell also when the cameras.
Okay.
I just remember, though, I was working a show right before the 2016 elections, and it took place in a universe where they were under the where Hillary won the election.
Okay.
And she ended up not winning. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, they just spent a good $500,000 to $1 million on this.
Did they bag the episode?
It's probably buried in a vault somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny that you mentioned that. I mean, everyone here and most people that were Democrats just assumed she'd win. I mean, it was a fait accompli. It wasn't even a thing. How could Trump win?
Yeah, it's whereas if you leave LA or New York at all, you see the MAGA hats.
Yeah,
you see the flag. I remember I was like 2 Septembers or 2 Octobers ago, I was driving with my dad down in Orange County, like along PCH, and we came across a Trump rally. And my dad was like, I thought California was liberal. And I was like, if you drive 30 miles outside of Los Angeles.
Yeah, very Trumpy outside of Los Angeles.
And even when Trump won in 2024, I remember seeing people driving around on the 405 with Trump flags. He has a base of people in California.
Yeah, I think they were coming in from San Bernardino. Down Studio City, down Ventura, there'd be rallies. 20, 30, 40
stupid
cars.
Waste of time.
Totally.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Get a life.
They're not really going to convert anybody, are they?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But back to stand-up. How do you get good if all you're doing is going to, and I don't mean this pejoratively,
all right.
But how does a person, not you personally, get good when you're working for 7 other comedians constantly? That's my, our good friend Liam.
Yeah.
You do it. Other people I know go to open mics, or you call them open mics, right? Mics or slotted mics.
Amateur night, or they would call it back in 79.
Yeah, they don't do that now because that's demeaning, even though you are technically an amateur. Not again, the royal you.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can get better. And I was talking to Liam about this, and he said a lot of it, and for a lot of people, it's as much a community as it is trying to get better at stand-up.
I've been doing comedy long enough that I'm able to write a ton of shit, work out the kinks at mics. Sometimes it'll hit, and a lot of times it does. A lot of times it doesn't.
But how do you know when you do a joke in front of 7 comics and they either laugh or they don't, that's a real test of whether that joke is great or not?
You don't know until you get up in front of audiences.
In front of a real audience.
Yes.
Right. So maybe that's like a little if they laugh, but it seems like they would laugh at more meta stuff if you're up in front of 7 comedians than in front of a regular crowd who's not there for the same reasons you are to be on stage for 5
me and
minutes.
one of my friends, we had this conversation the other day about how we are done doing it, inside baseball, open mic, comedy, whatever it is on stage. We just want to write, get better.
There you go.
He inspired me that every decision that I make on stage should be in service of becoming a stronger comedian with a larger body of work.
That person is a genius. Who is it? Can you say?
Yeah, my friend Armand. I don't know if you know him.
I don't think I know him.
But yeah, he's
no, that is the goal.
Yeah,
you can't go in and entertain and try to actually entertain. But the gear is, because I've done a couple. When I was out, I still dabble. I think about a year ago, I did a week in Minneapolis, middling for a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He said, "Come on and middle," and so I wanted to work out a couple of things. So I went to a couple of mics, and I'm getting nothing out of this. I can sit with a friend and write jokes. And again, I have a body of work, and I did fucking tour for 15 years as a comic. So I could sit and we could write 4 jokes, and I could go, okay, these have a better than 70% chance of working. I do not have to go test them first. I'll test them in front of a crowd. I have a base of 10 or 15 minutes that I know works. I can fit them in. and either they'll work or not, but I can sit and write, and I don't have to go to an open mic to go, this joke is good, this joke is bad. Again, it's based on, though, a lot of previous knowledge and what works for me.
I trust my writing instinctually enough where I could write down a decent premise and structure it from there, work it out on stage. But see, it's the repetition.
I'll take out that work it out on stage because, again, if it's in front of a real crowd, that is the key to it all.
Yeah.
Because
occasionally I will luck out.
So doing those open mics, it made me want to throw out shit because they stared. It's just like, and then I did a few jokes that were just for them, inside baseball, talking about the situation. Of course, they're going to laugh at that.
Yeah.
And my instincts doing those mics I have to get laughs.
Yes.
I have to get laughs.
Laughs should be first.
Laughs should be first. So
if I'm getting up in front of audiences, I'm down to feel comfortable, but ideally I'd like to get laughs. I am grateful that a lot of the mics that I go to, sometimes there will be an actual audience. I got up
of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, I got up at
more.
Yeah, a lot of the time, but I got up at Fanatic Salon last Friday.
Yeah,
and only 12 comics, which is higher than most places.
That seems almost a crowd.
Yeah,
yeah.
But there was also, in addition to that 12, there were 6 real people who paid to watch open mic comedy, and they were just down to have a good time.
So I was doing the open mic circuit a little bit before pre-pandemic. I was working with this comic named Martin Franks who wanted to do stand-up. So we were taking him around to the open mic world, and it was kind of bleak, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Some of them, there was one place that was particularly horrible, and I think it's known as a horrible place. I think it's the Tribal.
Oh, God, I haven't been there in years.
So there was 4 other comics, and they're all on their phones, right? It's not only, then why do you sit there, and do you really, it was just very weird, and we weren't getting a lot out of it. So, again, I don't know why people, I guess some people need to actually say the joke out loud in front of, I don't get it. I don't understand it. The
bubble is popped largely for people wanting to do comedy. A lot of the people who started during the pandemic, they last 5 years and then they quit. We have probably seen more people quit comedy in the past year than at any point in the history of stand-up comedy.
Oh, that's probably good.
And I think in the long term, it'll be for the better.
Yeah. Well, it's got to shake out, and again, you can't convince anybody to give up their dream. They have to do it themselves. They have there's people that started when I started in 80s, in the 70s, that still don't really have much of an act, but they still love doing it, and God bless them.
There's nothing wrong with being a hobbyist.
Right. They probably made $20,000 doing comedy in 50 years, but they love it, and whatever. They being a hobbyist, a dilettante.
That is my career goal. I would like to make $100,000 a year doing comedy in 10 years.
Well, in 10 years, you should set your sights for 5.
Set my sights. I will do that. I have my work cut out for me.
If you stay for everything leads to better jokes, however your friend phrased it, is a good phrasing. And
everything I do should be in service and becoming a better and stronger comedian with a larger body of work.
Yes, that's great. Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about different jokes and stuff like that, and it has to be beyond just the funny joke. It also has to be part of a bigger theme of who you are and what you are on stage, and what you present on stage, and what people in the audience, when you do a joke, how is that hitting them? You know what I mean? What is their interpretation of that? I'll give you a bad example of a bad comedian. They do 5 jokes about being married and 3 jokes about having a girlfriend. Well, either you're one or the other, or you have to. You got to explain. But yes, they're all great jokes. But again, it's thematically.
Because I look at every hour that I ever make it's going to be almost like a journal entry of some part of my life.
There you go.
My last the last hour I did, it followed a lot of just
Well, I'm going to say this about your last hour, and you might not want to hear this.
Okay.
It was more a storytelling hour that was funny than a stand-up hour.
I'll take that review.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did a very good job. It was very competent, but it was it was more it leaned into storytelling, which is nothing wrong with that.
My last hour like followed the themes of like unrequited love and just kind of trying to draw the parallels to what's on TV versus real life. And it's like, oh wait, like all these shows that I grew up watching weren't based on any sort of realism.
You were led astray by television. You're not the first young man.
A little, like in hindsight, a little bit melodramatic, and I don't know. I think this my next hour like follows a lot of the themes of depression and longing and redemption
and some being neurodiverse.
I came out the other day for the first time online that at age 12 I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
At 12.
Yeah.
What did they do with that back then?
I went to a therapeutic boarding school for 3 years, something like that.
And what? 12, 13. So that's like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, kind of.
Yeah, I was. My main, because that's a part of my life. Like, not. I'm glad that I went to.
You know. How are the levels?
Very good.
Okay.
I'm glad I went to this therapeutic boarding school. Because
that just hit me. So you were eating and sleeping at this place.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was
city or state?
Washington, Connecticut.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And you're from New York, right?
Yeah. So it was, I like grateful. Away. I got to go home every weekend.
Oh, nice.
But like at the time, I didn't have much of a social life outside of school.
How many other kids were in your grade or in your?
I don't remember, but I remember there was about 100 students in the school.
Okay.
And I don't know, like my reference point, because that's a part of my life that I've moved on from, and like I try to block out the memory.
Okay.
But I remember that's where I was on 9/11. And that the school had a policy where you couldn't watch the news.
Why did they have that, do you think?
Upsetting? I don't know exactly, but we had TV hour, and once they kind of realized, oh wait, 9/11, it's on every not that they called it 9/11 back then.
No, they didn't, right? The bombing, the Twin Towers.
It's not
bombing.
like somebody got out of the subway and saw a plane hit the tower and was like, oh shit, it's 9/11.
Right. It was only after they realized that it was September 11th.
That's the guy I would be suspicious of.
Yeah. He had something to do with it.
Yeah.
He coined that phrase. And got the T-shirts out right away.
But once they realized that 9/11, the attacks were on every channel, they went into every classroom and kind of told everybody. And it was... I
think it was a Tuesday.
Yes, it was a Tuesday. Yeah, never forget, except the day of the week.
Right. So you did that for 3 years, and then did you come back and go to a regular high school?
Yeah, I went to, I'm grateful, I went to Manhattan Center for Science and Math, and I wasn't the best student, but I got good grades. I eventually went to college.
Where'd you go to college?
City College in New York.
Yeah.
But the boarding school, even though like I look back at it and I'm not... I tried
picked on at the boarding school, or was it because everyone was neurodivergent? They didn't pick on each other. Do you remember any of that?
I just remember it was kind of like a mixed bag of people with like different conditions to as wide like that.
Yeah.
Which I like. I'm not gonna I think they did a good job with me. Like I know I wasn't the best kid in my middle school years.
Okay.
I definitely had some like emotional regulation, aggression issues.
Sure.
I think my all the symptoms back then were significantly more severe. Like my parents, I hate it when they bring it up, but I was fixated on architecture and whales and
Well, they didn't know as much about autism back then as they do now. I mean, every year it seems like they know more and more. My cousin, Dr. Michael Weiss, is a person that works with autistic kids I think he's in Connecticut, actually. But he has been studying it and researching it, oh my God, for 20 years. And he said that some of his clients, it's interesting when they break through with humor.
Yeah.
Like, humor is not necessarily, they don't get jokes. People that have severe, again, not like everybody, but social cues, and social cues is humor.
I speak fluent in sarcasm.
Right? Yeah. How about that movie? We were just watching it the other night. Project Hail Mary, the little alien person kind of had to learn jokes, like what a joke is, because again, it's not black and white, and sometimes people on the spectrum don't see it. You know, they see more black and white.
That's
so
weird.
That's a big breakthrough when they get humor.
I feel like I have a better sense of like nuance and.
But that you've trained yourself, you've learned, right?
Yeah. Granted, I've been doing comedy like almost nonstop for the past 12 years. Yeah. So it's like,
well, you should have some idea of what comedy is.
You should have a sense of humor if you're doing comedy.
Well, you really should. Yeah. You really should. You should be able to, at that point, be able to take it as well as dish it out, but hopefully not dish it out.
The greatest gift that I got from going to this boarding school was not just that I think I came out a better, like more mature as an adult. Granted, I was doing the whole masking shit for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But I met the drummer of my first band in that school.
I didn't know you were in a band.
Yes, I was in a ska band back in the early 2010s.
Did you do covers of Madness?
Madness, no. Oh, quick sidebar. Like, you ever get into the English Beat?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, the guitarist from the English Beat, he liked my set. He saw me at Kibitz Room.
Oh, there you
Humble
go.
Brag.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Did you tell him you were a fan?
Yeah. To be honest, I only know 2 of their songs.
Well, that's all right. Yeah. They only know 2 of their songs.
Yeah. But I met the drummer of my first band.
Okay, so you were in a ska band.
Yes, of this school.
Did you play guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar and I sang.
Wasn't there a guitar around here somewhere? Do you still play once in a while?
I dabble with it, but I don't write music.
Why don't you get into another ska band for fun?
Nah, because ska's dead. But
all right.
Through my
you could bring it back.
Through my drummer,
yes,
we met a lot of other musicians, and in time, I found myself helping produce shows for a group of people called the Bronx Underground.
Okay.
Who I was working security. They would throw shows in the basement of a church. Ska bands, hardcore bands, punk bands, metal bands.
Yeah.
And this was like the first social circle in my life where all these people of all these different backgrounds, like all these different ethnicities, before it became trendy in Hollywood, they all treated me like I was a person.
And you didn't really find that in comedy, did you?
I have my people.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And I think...
but in general.
Yeah. I think I have more people who are rooting for me than my naysayers.
Got it. But in general, comedy is not it's not a welcome.
It's not a nurturing.
It's showbiz in general. I think maybe more so in LA than other places, because out here, once people get out here, it's do or die.
Yeah.
It's I will step on your neck if I need to, you know.
Believe me,
that was a big surprise when I got out here, how somebody would rat fuck you for a $10 gig. It's like, I get it when there's $1 million at stake to get rat fucked, but rat fuck you for $10,
3 minutes at the Improv,
right?
Yeah.
They will rat fuck you for 3 minutes, and there again, it's a business, and those people usually either succeed wildly or fall off the pace, because again, it's a business of relationships.
I've never met anybody who is the kind of I'm gonna fuck you over kind of person who went on to do anything that impressive.
There you go. All right, there you go. But they're there. And
they are there, and they are.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, can you do enough shows that you don't have to rely on being around these people to have an influence on your art?
And how about some of these bookers Should we name the latest person I've been reading about who who got run out of the city after years of doing shows, bringer shows?
Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I'm very.
Did they run him out? Is he gone?
I've heard mixed things.
Okay, all right.
But the Bronx Underground, though.
That sounded like a very nurturing thing. Now, why did you leave that? You got interested in comedy?
I got old eventually.
Okay.
I got
You
into
aged out?
comedy. The Bronx Underground, they stopped doing shows in 2015, and shortly afterwards, I moved to Los Angeles.
Got it. And did you come out? Were you producing shows, or at that time you had switched to do stand-up?
I was doing stand-up at that point entirely.
Got it.
But yeah, Dave Rose, Adam Fatchler, Anita Colby, I've always tried to make it a point to tell them how much the Bronx Underground meant to me, but I never really explained why. I don't know. And the other day, Anita saw my posts about coming out, about being on the spectrum, and I think she has a better understanding of the influence that they've
that's
left
fantastic.
on me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you need a person needs a nurturing group.
Yeah.
You know, I was very fortunate when I came out here. My good friends were all people from the Midwest that kind of came out in a similar time. So I felt very, very nurtured. I didn't have to go outside. But, man, I met lots of people that fell out, tried to fuck you over, were, all for themselves, really, not a lot of good people.
Oh, it's a rough business. Every time a friend says I'm thinking about getting into comedy, I'm like, do it because you love it. Yeah. Don't take anything that personally.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't.
But
and again, it's showbiz, and there's no showbiz justice.
Yeah,
people complain constantly about I'm funnier than that person. I'm a better writer than that person. I should be more, and they're never satisfied. No matter what they have, they want, why is that person getting booked and I'm not getting? There is no showbiz justice, period. There's no justice.
None.
It's not based
it's
on
a battle of who's more likable, who has more clout, whatever.
Whatever it is, it's not a meritocracy.
But I
unlike in sports,
I'm not going to be bitter. You know why?
You refuse.
So, I have such an amazing network.
That's good.
Of so many incredible comedians.
Yeah, I don't. Of all the things, I don't take you as bitter.
Yeah, I got by God, I think about what Comedy Gives Back did for me at the beginning of a stretch of really.
It's like someone's killing a cat outside. Or is that just
I didn't do it. No.
All right.
But
Comedy Gives Back. You wanted to talk about that a little bit.
I was in the it was the beginning of a rough patch, I'm going to call it. I'm not getting what
What's this current rough patch?
Yeah, this current rough patch I'm in the middle of getting out of.
Patches, right?
Life goes in waves.
All right, it does, man. No matter who you are or where you're at, that's very good. Life goes in waves.
But I'm growing, and that's what matters.
You know what? That is what matters. You're right. Absolutely, 100%.
This Comedy Gives Back during the beginning of some really rough days. A woman reached out to me. Do you know Zoe Friedman?
Yeah, I've met her. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
She's a very, very sweet woman.
Great person. Yes.
And we got in touch. We talked on the phone for a little bit, and she offered access to either meditation or a therapist just all these different mental health resources.
Yes, helping out mental health.
I don't when she introduced herself, she was like, my name's Zoe. I work in TV development.
Yeah.
And my parents founded the Improv.
Yeah, you might know her dad.
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
I very quietly said, "You're Budd Friedman's daughter."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah," and I would have geeked out about it a little more, but I wasn't, I don't know.
You maintained?
But in that moment, I knew I was going to be led to a therapist who was familiar with show business.
Right. No, it's important for your therapist to kind of have an understanding of how horrible stand-up is and show business is.
Which just brought me to a man's house out in Malibu. I'm still at odds over whether or not I want to give it. Yeah, I'm not going to give his name, but
yeah, don't give his name.
I don't know if
Keep
HIPAA
his
goes.
anonymity.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Might.
But this man let me into his backyard during a stretch of and that gesture.
He's out of his mind, right?
Both of them, I don't think they'll understand like the impact this is going to have on my values going forward, and just even
the
something
small
simple,
gestures, right?
Yeah, being more empathetic and being patient and understanding of what others might be going through.
Well, you're not going to get that from your basic open mic person that's kind of desperate to do comedy. You're just not going to get that.
But
but that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I was seeing this guy for a year, and like he was very helpful and gave me a lot of wisdom that I sometimes have to fight to remember. Because not every day is perfect for me, but
it's not for anybody.
No,
it's not for anybody.
Like
everybody has ups and downs.
But he said to me once that like most of the time you feel like you're going to be moving forward. Other times you're going to feel like you're moving backwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, he seems to be right on.
That's very good advice.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't let those days where you're moving backwards affect everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep moving backwards.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's tough. Well, but that's great. And are you continuing to see therapy and all that?
Yeah. My therapist from Comedy Gives Back, he unfortunately passed away.
You told me this.
Yes. Very.
Did you find another person? Were you?
There was a stretch I was seeing 2 therapists.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. That's
as many as you can. It all helps.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
But my therapist from Comedy Gives Back, he was absolutely one of a kind, and
that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's putting that's fantastic. What's next for Ian Ira Rousso? You got the podcast running up again?
I got the podcast running.
Have we talked for like an hour?
We have, which
How long's the podcast? Do you have to edit some of this out?
I don't know yet.
All right.
We'll find out.
Fair enough.
What's next for me? I'm just going to keep getting better at the thing I love. I'm going to be booking one-nighters with friends.
Okay.
And
fantastic. Getting on the road and doing horrible gigs in front of real crowds will improve you faster than anything else.
Oh God, I remember when and this is me. This isn't me like saying, oh, she wasn't great. Like she was always pretty good, but she got so much. Like Kim McVicker, I remember. You don't know her?
No.
Oh, sweetest human being ever.
Yeah.
I remember when she started doing weekends more, and she would she was getting unrecognizably good and comfortable back in LA.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something that the road will beat you up, and you either get to be like a road act, which all right, you can make some money out there, whatever, which is fine, no thing, or it makes you globally a better act,
Yeah.
So, but
I don't know.
You need to go out and in front of real crowds. No, I sound like a broken record.
Yeah. Others
broken CD, broken streaming music device of some sort.
I'm going to be spending the next couple of years of my life trying to figure out how to talk about being neurodivergent without kind of pigeonholing myself in becoming the autism comic.
Right, because there's already the autism comic. There's a couple of them.
There's all of them.
Right?
Yeah.
They're all of them.
Whole business.
There's a few. There's a few that come out and do undiagnosed neurodivergency. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up.
But that doesn't change the fact that it was a struggle for me.
No, it does not.
I think, like, I look back at my 20s where
that's your story, and you know, other people's stories as well. But I was
drinking excessively back in my 20s because I thought it would make me more social. Which I don't think it ever really. I would just cry in the corner, and
well, that's not good.
And I think, like, through a certain lens, like, that was like a cry for help.
Literally, you're crying.
I look back at, like, the last at the last 3 years of my life, and I think one of the best decisions I've made. I haven't had a drop to drink in 2 years.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
I don't drink because I just don't. I have a very low tolerance after not drinking for a while. So I kind of stay away from alcohol.
Gotcha.
In my 20s, I would drink and want to fight.
Yeah.
I was fucking pissed
Not
at something.
Me.
Yeah, and I'm quite a bit shorter than you are, and quite a bit, and I wasn't as in peak physical shape as I am now at my age. When I was 20, I could easily have been killed.
Yeah.
Many times, but that did not stop me from wanting to mix it up when I was drunk.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good for me.
No, I think.
So I switched to pills.
Switched to pills.
I switched to Quaaludes.
Hollywood,
which is much better. Yeah. Never wanted to fight anybody on Quaaludes.
Did you ever get to do Quaaludes back when they were a thing?
Of course, I'm kidding, but it for sure.
Yeah.
747s. Yeah, they were downers.
Yeah.
Just everything was just fucking mellow and nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know, I just look like, now that I'm looking inward about being on the spectrum and how much that's affected all these areas of my life, how it's affected dating, how it's affected my comedy, some of my relationships, and I'm just getting better in touch with that. And
I think anytime you can self-reflect, no matter what that reflection is, it makes you grow. It forces inward growth to be a better person. It really does.
And when you're taking a however long break from comedy, you have all the time in the world to reflect on that.
Yeah, but you're not really taking a break.
Yeah. Not anymore.
No, you're on it. You're on it, which is good. You're coming out of a horrible situation, and you're taking advantage.
It's getting better every. It'll pass.
Everything does, right?
Yeah.
Like
there is a circle of absolutely amazing comics that I couldn't have done this without them. I couldn't have done this without Comedy Gives Back.
Yeah.
My friends, both inside and outside of comedy, and just all of these hosts and bookers who I think more or less. I'm a decent guy.
One of the bottom lines is, and that's great that you're doing all that, but, and not a but, just an and, is that if you're funny, you're undeniably funny.
That comes first, friend,
it comes first and foremost. And it's not being funny for two people. It's not being funny for yourself. It's actually having an act that works every time for just about every crowd. And if you can do that, if you have 20 undeniable minutes, fuck having an hour. Start with 20 undeniable minutes.
Absolutely.
And you start that with having 5 undeniable minutes.
Yeah. I look at, I think my reference point, I think one of my 5-year goals, like someone like Rita, I don't know if she'll be at the Improv 5 years from now. Who knows? This business is unpredictable.
6 months from now. Who knows?
Yeah, you never... Right. Comedy Store, I think they've gone through 3 bookers in the past couple years.
Yeah, there you go.
But I want to be the person where if I ever get up in front of Rita again, I want her to be like, holy shit, I'm so glad that this guy went through my club. And
there you go. Right.
He got fucking good.
One of the hardest things in LA for anybody to really wrap their head around is that people's impressions the first time they see you doesn't matter in
Yeah.
so many ways. If you get better, their first impression is their impression.
Oh yeah, there are
that's what you
people
are.
who saw me like 8 to 10 years ago who they're like, oh, I remember that guy bombing it at Mike talking about
Really
bones.
hard. It's really hard to get over that.
Yeah.
You know, not impossible because people
Yeah.
do, but it's just another hurdle.
Yes, and
You know, people don't get that. They come out here they barely have done comedy in their hometown. They go, I'm a funny guy. Or woman, or nondescript.
They, them.
They, them, whatever. And it's just, you know, sometimes I guess it can happen, but for the most part, you know, it takes it takes time. It takes time. It's like any craft. You gotta work at it.
yeah.
Like making a pot. Same with writing. I mean, I could talk. It's the same example with writing.
They say it
every
takes
script you write, you get that much better.
They say it takes 10 to 20 years to become a great comedian, but what is that like in the slotted era? Am I doing a service to myself?
You are. I'm going to say that right away.
Okay.
And there was this strange, I can't even remember where I saw it, but where they talked about it's not necessarily quantity, but it's quantity and quality.
Yeah.
You know, you have to put in your time, but if you're just getting up, all comes back to 5 people. You can do that 1,000 million times for 20 years. It's not going to make you a better comic.
Yeah.
That
And I like to believe that that there are like when things
I don't
get
think I
better.
could. I don't think I could have stuck it out if I wasn't. Well, again, I saw the fact when I was like a couple years in. Oh, people starting to be on the road. They're starting to make money. I need to put together a little more time to get out there. There was a goal to that, but I don't think if there was not that goal or that even horizon at the time, I don't know if I would have stuck it out. I don't know if I would have been a dabbler making $100 a week doing stand-up and having a job if there wasn't a bigger thing kind of on the horizon. You know, I wouldn't have done it for 10 years not being able to climb the ladder. There's not the same ladder now, so it's really apples to oranges of how the business works. But I don't think I would have stuck out, for example, what you were doing, what you are doing. I just don't think I could have handled that, doing it at that level for so long, like many people do.
And I like to believe that there will be a point where I'll look at this chapter in my life and be like, oh, that was crazy.
That was crazy, but it made you a stronger person.
A stronger, a wiser person. And I like to believe there will come a point where I'm able to be a little bit more selective with the stage time. Go on
the road.
Yeah, who knows?
Go on the road. Find a friend. Go on the road.
Yeah.
Go on the road. Get out of LA for a while. Go on the road. Get beat up. Find out what works. You know, and it's hard to believe, but keep what works.
Yeah.
Throw out what doesn't, even if you love it. You know, there's a writing expression: "Kill your babies, kill your darlings." In writing, in scripts, where I love this line or I love this little idea. That's the first thing that you go.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because it's just holding you back. But that's it. Keep what works, throw out what doesn't. That's how you build an act, and it's been the same since since stand-up was invented.
Wisdom from a WGA writer.
Yes, WGA. I think I'm like emeritus standpoint. I'm like in now for life. I think it says either emeritus or I don't know, in for life, something. I don't know what it is.
Burning down the house.
Burning down the house. I'm about to pull my pension, man. All together, even though I'm pretty much retired.
We'll wrap this up. But like one of my favorite moments, my favorite Joel Madison stories is last time you and Liam did the podcast, we went out to like Habit Burger, like one of those places.
Yeah.
But like you got us, you treated us to lunch.
I did.
You were like, see this meal? It's paid for with Fresh Prince
did
money.
I say that?
Yes,
we were talking about Fresh Prince. So I still get a check once in a while. They rerun that show, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Still get a little bit of a pop once in a while.
Syndication money, baby.
Oh, they don't have that anymore. You could work on a show. they never see any reruns or syndication.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time a show lasted more than 6 seasons.
Right?
Yeah.
And they if it's on HBO, they could run it 1,000 times. You ain't making any money. Network shows, as soon as they rerun it in the summer, you make, I think it's half again the first time for a script. Holy shit. There you go.
But...
All right, are we wrapping it up?
Yeah, we are wrapping.
We spoke a lot about stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely a lot more stuff. Like, I could talk to you for hours, but yeah, we definitely should.
But I have a life, and so do you.
Yes.
All right.
But Joel Madison, I appreciate you for coming on, and I appreciate everybody who's been listening and for all the kind method. Ow, crap. Bit the inside of my mouth.
Oh, you bit it? You're going to cut
as
that
I'm
out.
emotionally
You
thanking.
Should we take 2 on that?
As I'm thanking everybody for all the kind messages the other day. Fuck yeah, thank you guys. Joel Madison, where can the listeners and the viewers find you?
I have nothing going on. I post once in a while on Facebook. I post once in a while on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
TikTok. Joel Madison. Joel
Madison and
I think it's _ Madison. I don't know.
Where can they stream Burning Down the House by Fresh Prince? Season 6, episode 1.
I think it's probably on YouTube. Check out Jackie Thomas again. It might be dated, but there's some funny jokes. Tom Arnold is super funny in it. For whatever reason.
Roseanne, Undeclared, Crashing.
Oh yeah, Crashing. I did a season of Crashing, which was about stand-up.
Were you a writer on Freaks and Geeks?
No, I did not do Freaks and Geeks. I did.
You did something with Jason Segel.
Undeclared,
yes.
Yeah, the Freaks and Geeks sort of spin-off.
Okay.
Sort of, kind of. Yeah. Freaks and Geeks, that's a whole other story. Should have been on that, could have, but hindsight, I was on another show at the time and didn't want to leave wherever I was to do that. Again, nobody knew it was going to be the greatest show ever on TV. And, Paul and Judd were both friends, people that I met coming up, talking about relationships, blah, blah, blah. And, but that was a great show to work on, Undeclared. That was a really good show.
For sure.
Anyways, but you know what? I don't have anything going on really on the, and I don't care.
Yeah. Who cares? This industry is on fire.
Yeah.
Let's just go nuts creatively, make art we like, and see what shit sticks.
There you go. That's all we can do.
Let the studios burn.
Exactly. No. All right.
Can
I bring on, next time I come, can I bring on my comedian friend Martin Franks?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll do it again with Martin Franks.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
All right.